Welcome to this edition of the Jenkins X Office Hours. We have a number of participants today, including Oscar Medina, who's going to give us some presentations on a great presentation on a new slide deck for Jenkins X presentations that can be shared with the community and used by the community, as well as a few extra additional topics and tips. Oscar, what would you like to talk about first?
Yeah, thank you. So the first thing is we felt that a lot of the folks we've talked to want to have a canned presentation in order to introduce their team to Jenkins X. So for a while I've been procrastinating. I came up with something that I hope helps people out, and it's still being refined, but I'd like to share my desktop and probably walk people through it. And of course, I'll paste the link here, in fact, just in case. So let me paste that here on the chat. Okay, so I pasted it there on the chat, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And hopefully you guys can see. I have two screens, so I'm not sure which one you're seeing. Is it the one with Slack?
Okay, now it's your slide deck.
Okay, cool. So this is it. Actually, there are multiple. This one is a different one. Let me switch here to the one that is actually, it's probably easier to show you. I've actually added it to the Jenkins X site. Now, you're probably wondering why I added it to the artwork section. I couldn't rename that label to resources or something. And under there was going to be artwork and presentations. But for now, I embedded it here on this page. And so it's easy to go full screen. You can see the menu at the bottom, and it walks you through, what the different major features are and what Jenkins X is. And I won't go through the entire slide, but it's very interactive. So you can easily present to the team right from the website. So you don't need to install anything. And it's work in progress, like I said. I cleaned this up here recently to explain how we deal with Tecton and abstract people from it. But yeah, that is one resource available to people, and I hope that they could use it. The other thing I wanted to bring up is actually, yesterday we had somewhat of a snafu with a webinar that was live. And so I ended up pausing that webinar, and instead of rescheduling, I actually fixed the issue and recorded the entire webinar. So the webinar is actually available on the YouTube channel. And many people might not be aware that there is a YouTube channel for Jenkins X, so I just wanted to bring that up. So this is the Jenkins X channel. We have about 232 subscribers. So they get automatic alerts if there's a new video. In this case, yesterday I uploaded the implementing camera deployments for your app. So it's there for people to follow along with the slides as well. So you can easily follow the exercise if you wanted to. So those are the two things I wanted to bring up. Hopefully they help people.
That's great, Oscar. I'm actually really excited to watch the webinar you've done. And the slide deck looks amazing. Do you have any top tips for Canary deployments with Jenkins X that you want to mention?
I think Victor and team have done a bulk of the work, to be honest with you. For the webinar, in a nutshell, we went through installing Istio and Flagger at the cluster level, and then simply configured the environment repo with some YAML for that specific app, and then it all worked. So, well, the first time it didn't work. The second time after I rebuilt my cluster, there was some permissions issue anyway, but it's pretty straightforward. So the webinar is step-by-step, so people should be able to follow it.
So that's basically what we have right now. I think it's a first step, and we are already working on the next ones. So we will change it so that Istio Gateway is created automatically, that it supports Linkerd and Nginx and quite a few other things. So more is coming. It's cool what we have right now, very cool, but it will be cooler.
Is that in the labs, the work being done in the labs, Victor?
That's being done somewhere. in the labs, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, excellent. I'm looking forward to testing that.
Yeah, and I saw, Victor, you also are offering a number of really good free learning resources at the moment. Do you want to give a quick shout out? Because a number of them are very relevant for Jenkins X.
Yeah, so I don't know where to post the links. Anyways, all the books that I wrote are for free now as a kind of help to all those locked in a house. And this is opportunity for us to use to learn new stuff. And so all the books are for free. The course in Udemy is not free because Udemy doesn't allow me to have it free for an extended period of time, but there is a huge discount to that as well. And hopefully we can put it later somewhere in the comment section, I guess. Or just go to my tweets and you'll find the information.
That's pretty cool, Victor, of you to do that. I know many people have, without commuting and stuff, it's easier to allocate a little bit of time to learning. So I think that's really nice of you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And do we have any extra questions from the community regarding anything with Jenkins X? I don't know if Terry, you would like to speak about anything with machine learning operations, or what would you like to talk about?
Yeah, so a little bit of news this week. I've finally managed to finish off the documentation pack. So that's now been added to the website. So it's much easier to understand how you can use the various different parts of Jenkins X for MLOps. On a more technical side, I have been encountering some interesting challenges with boot modifying the prow config when the GitOps for dev environment runs. I don't know if anyone's got any pointers towards what's actually modifying that prow config, so I can go and have a look, see what's going on. But I'm getting some duplicated entries, and that's then causing the cluster to fail gradually over time.
I can't personally speak to that. I don't know if Victor would like to say that, but if not, we can certainly reach out to you on Slack regarding prow issues, most definitely, and make sure we have some answers for you. Definitely.
Yes.
And I did read over the MLOps documentation that you put on the Jenkins X documentation site. It's very good. So I recommend other people to have a look at it. It's great. It's really interesting. Thank you. Okay, any other topics or questions anyone like to speak of? I realize our minds are largely taken up elsewhere, but this is a good moment to talk about Jenkins X if we have any questions.
So I wanted to just remind folks of the new process that we have, how we've been talking about the Jenkins X labs and how does that work, right? Because it's being spearheaded by James Strachan and Rawlings, but are people able to contribute to that, or is that just James and James? So let's say someone in the community likes the idea of what they're doing. Can they be part of the repos and help out, or how does it work? I actually don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I've actually created one last week, so I was able to add a proposal for the alterations we need to make to the builders and build packs. So yeah, it's definitely possible for people to create stuff. I'm not sure we're getting the engagement that we need. I haven't actually had any comments on the stuff that that I've put forwards. So we probably need to do a little work to get people scanning over those things and actually engaging with them and broadening the discussion.
I see, Terry, but I think what I was thinking of is in general, what are the steps, right? So let's say I'm part of the community. I want to participate in the Jenkins X labs. What's the first step I take? Do I, voice it out in the office hours and then they maybe give me access to the labs repos, or do I submit a proposal like you said? Like do we know what that step is?
I think the idea to generate as much open dialogue as possible would be to make a proposal on the labs repo, to comment on existing proposals and have the discussion there. However, if someone felt maybe a little bit tentative about making a proposal for that repo, you could also bring it up within the Slack channels and you'll definitely be responded to. You're welcome to bring it up in office hours as well and kind of initiate the discussion and then make a proposal on the GitHub repo. But the idea is that it should be a pretty free form discussion. You don't need to have something perfect, already thought out plans. It can be an idea, it can be a very roughly sketched proposal. It is an open forum on GitHub for discussions. So that's very good. And then as we converse together, we sort of iterate and get a more refined proposal, bring more people on board, make sure it's right for the project, start actually making, an initial POC of it and see how it goes.
Okay.
But this is meant to be very much a community effort and open to the community. We would love for more people to be involved. And actually, it's a great opportunity, not just to be involved in Jenkins X, but to be involved with individuals who are amazing developers and engineers. And it's really interesting learning opportunity. And in fact, some of the lab proposals we've built on to create project ideas for Google Summer of Code, which Jenkins X is taking part of this summer. And you are one of the mentors, Oscar, so you know this well. But yeah.
I can't believe we forgot about that.
Yes, it's going to be great. We have a great mentor team for that. We're really excited. We've already had some engagement from students. So that is all moving forward very well. And using the labs platform and that open form of discussion has been a great way to generate project ideas for Google Summer of Code.
Very cool. I'm excited about that program, actually. I think some really good stuff is going to come out of it. And most of all, I think, this is the first time I participate as a mentor. So for me, it's more this feeling like I'm giving something back and making sure that someone also feels that they contributed to something important, like our project.
Yeah, it's a really nice program. It's really nice too because we are working as a project with other projects within the CDF. So we're liaising quite closely with the Jenkins project, which was another founding project of the CDF. We're also potentially having a Jenkins X proposal within the CDF organization for Google Summer of Code, and that will Jenkins X won't be the core part of that proposal, but it will be the CI/CD platform for that project. So that's very interesting for us to liaise with other open source projects and work together.
That sounds really cool. And that's all under the CDF, right?
Yes, that is the CDF umbrella for the Google Summer of Code.
Very nice.
Yeah. Good. So if anyone has any questions about Google Summer of Code or would like to mentor, please do reach out to us on our Slack channels. That's a really good place to ask questions and to suggest either project proposals, either as a student or even as a mentor. We're still at the stage where if someone had a project proposal that they wanted to bring forward and were willing to mentor for, that is still possible at this stage. So we would welcome your suggestions and your involvement, and we encourage participation. Good. Do we have any more questions from our community today? It is a quiet office hours.
I have a question. I have more of a comment. I wonder, given all this pandemic, how I see a shift into like virtual conferences, right? So Google Next has been canceled. I think HashiCorp has just virtualized an entire HashiConf that's in October, I think. So I wonder if DevOps World are we planning on doing that? I don't know. That'd be interesting, right? Because I just saw an email about CFPs.
Yeah, not at this stage from speaking with Alyssa, but obviously watch the space. I think we're all keeping track of the situation very carefully, and things may evolve. We certainly wouldn't want to put anyone's health at risk. I mean, that's always the main priority.
I think it was going to be in Vegas, right?
Yes.
The next one this year. And I heard Vegas shut down for 30 days only, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't have anything else.
Good. I don't have any other missives. If there are questions or comments that anyone in the community would like to ask us, either anything, labs, Google Summer of Code, our deprecation of Jenkins static masters, and soon removal from the Jenkins X code base. We are doubling down on Tecton as our pipeline engine. If you have any questions about any of these topics, again, our Slack channels within the Kubernetes Slack, if you go to Jenkins X Dev or Jenkins X User, that is a great way to reach people. That is our #1 way to communicate with us. Or please do join us for next office hours, which will be in 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
Okay, if there's no more demos, presentations, or questions, we can give you back, at least a half an hour of your day. So.
Yep. Everyone stay safe out there.
Yeah, most definitely.